Kevin wasn't ready for this. No, I was just laughing. Like my first L I took already was the fact that like I sat there and I had the cameras organized, and so when the camera was switching, and I was like, "My name is Alex." And I'm looking at the screen. It's on here. I put.
Oh, you mixed up.
Just your camera.
That's why when I was looking up there, I was like this. Why is it still aiming at me? And you're like, you looked at me like, seriously, bro? You gonna steal my spotlight?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I am.
We are using 3 cameras.
Okay. You got that, DJ? Yeah.
Good morning! Sakpase. What's going on, guys? My name is Alex.
And I'm Alan.
Guys, listen, welcome to the AMICY channel.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
If you're not part of the AMICY gang, you know what to do. Click on that subscribe button below and join us and be a part of the squad.
Oh, God.
Now, we have a second channel that we're using for a lot. It was very things, you know. If we're like, yo, let's just drop this on the other channel, which is AMICY Theory. We'll drop it on there. If not, then we're going to drop it on this one because we love you guys also. We want to make sure that you guys get the content that you need.
Of course.
So, people were asking us to, because we started diving into this, and so now it's a thing. So, people started asking us to dive into the butterfly effect on YouTube. And so, your boy is excited to check it out. So, without further ado, let's all do our best here, guys. Let's hop in this video. Let's get popping.
Let's get it.
The butterfly effect. Oh boy, it's got
the sound.
The butterfly effect, a name and concept formulated by American meteorologist and mathematician Edward Norton Lorenz in the 1960s, is the theory that one small change in the starting condition of an event, such as the flutter of an innocent butterfly soaring through the sky, can have a dramatic effect on the outcome of an event. Like cause a tornado on the other side of the world, or less drastic, cause a plane to experience turbulence. Edward first popularized the butterfly effect after running weather forecasts through a computer using precise variables, and realizing that just a minute alteration of any given calculation, such as wind speed, temperature, or humidity, caused a dramatic influence of the following 2 months' worth of simulated weather predictions.
Oh, wow.
But this is by no means just the case with the weather, but every single event, thought, and outcome ever to have happened. This is why you did not read the title wrong, and I did not get you with clickbait. This video will have an impact on the outcome of your life in ways you probably never thought until you learn about the butterfly effect. So how can we relate and physically see this? Well, like I said, every single event in reality...
It's just me. We haven't started the video. My mind's already screwed. I was like this. The song got me. I'm like this. I was like this. Okay, the butterfly effect. I'm thinking like, you know how we always say in the future.
Yeah.
If you go through your future and you like try to change one thing, you can mess up everything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like this. Okay, so that's how I know. And he just goes, yeah, so Edward and something, he did this. I was like this. Wait, what about the future? What happens in the future?
But it's like at the same time, it's like you're having the idea of like it's like all right, I'm gonna understand this entire video. And it's like the butterfly effect.
That was me, bro. Soon as the music started playing, I was like this. Okay, so a tornado. If you feel the tornado, you can feel the wind speed.
Ali's brain was like, yeah, butterfly effect.
Don't do me like that, bro. I got this.
Oh my god. Oh, he's good. It's hilarious.
In ways you probably never thought until you learn about the butterfly effect. So how can we relate and physically see this? Well, like I said, every single event in reality is the result of a past action. But there are some examples that will reminisce with all of us, because the action started out so small, yet had such a devastating or positive outcome on all of our lives.
Snowball.
Let's take a look at a few of those examples. World War I was an event that changed the course of all of our lives. But what if World War I never took place? Well, that in theory could be equally as damaging, because another more devastating war may have broken out. But just what if? Well, it's been theorized that if somehow a war did not happen, there of course would have been no World War II, no Hitler rising to power, no 60+ million deaths, and fast forward many years, theory suggests there would be no tension with the Middle East, no Taliban, and no Al-Qaeda, just to name a few. But many say World War I was destined to happen, and they're probably right. World War I was a combination of many things, but it can be narrowed down to one small event that, if altered, could have changed its course entirely. And that was the wrong turn and the stalling of a car. A car that was carrying the Archduke of Austria, Franz Ferdinand.
Oh, that's the one that got
You
assassinated.
see, on the morning of June the 28th, 1914, Franz's car was attacked with a grenade, which failed to hit its target, but instead injured passengers of the car behind. Later that day, Franz wanted to visit those wounded by the blast, and whilst en route, the driver of his car made a wrong turn down a street. Standing outside a cafe on this very street was 19-year-old Serbian Gavrilo Princip, one of the men involved in the attack on Franz that morning. He spotted the car had stalled whilst trying to turn around in the road, ran over and shot Franz and his wife dead. If not for the wrong turn made by Franz's car...
Time out. So he said... So he was going down the street and then...
he was supposed to be assassinated, killed.
Right, by a
They threw
grenade.
The grenade missed them and hit the car behind them.
Okay.
And so so technically this guy caused it. So instead of him going, oh, I almost got killed today, let me hang out at home. He's like, I'm gonna go see the people that got wounded by that grenade. So they're going back to go. So later that day they're going to go visit those people, but the driver took a wrong turn, and the car stalled, and that guy happened to be on the street that had tried to kill him earlier. And then he succeeded.
Wait, so he was the guy that had the grenade?
Yeah, he was part
It was
of
like
the
a
plan.
failed attempt, and he's like, "Oh, this is my second chance."
He's like, yes, look at. He was probably like this. No, God must be playing
Trick
tricks
him.
on me. My eyes must be playing tricks on me. Why
Right.
would you be out again? So he got
Jeez.
shot, and then that's why.
I thought it was like another time, but the same day,
These
he
guys,
should have just
man.
got home.
Right? You're.
made a wrong turn down a street. Standing outside a cafe on this very street was 19-year-old Serbian Gavrilo Princip, one of the men involved in the attack on Franz that morning. He spotted the car had stalled whilst trying to turn around in the road, ran over and shot Franz and his wife dead. If not for the wrong turn made by Franz's car, he would not have been shot. If he had not been shot, Austria-Hungary would not have declared war on the home country of the man who shot him, which caused Germany to declare war on Russia, followed by France and Belgium, causing the UK to declare war on Germany, starting World War I. Had Franz not been assassinated, World War I would never have happened that way. It may not have been prevented, but it certainly would have started differently, potentially changing its outcome.
See, this brings back the conversation that me and you have had before, right?
Okay.
And I've said it already. We've allowed as a society to put ourselves. Well, who do we blame for World War One? I think we should blame ourselves, the people. We're the reason that this became a thing, right?
Why?
Because I'm gonna say it like this, right? Because you go, oh yeah, that guy did this. Okay, let's just take it out. Let's just bring it back just a little bit, right?
Okay.
So you have somebody that's in a position of power, and they get assassinated, which now your country declares war on this one person, entire country.
Yes.
So now, as a whole, we gotta go fight this group of people
Just because of one person's
because
mistake.
of one stupid person's mistake.
Yeah.
Which now causes the butterfly effect of everybody. Ping, 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 ping. Now we're in war over one person. One person. Millions die for one. Help me understand the logic of that, if that makes sense. Because why are we at war? Okay, I get it. He was a person in the position of power. Yes. But why are we going to war to go kill other people?
When you already found that person.
You already knew who killed them.
Yeah. But then could it be that they thought, okay, so let's go back. So could it be that they thought the guy that killed him, they probably thought he was working with the government of the other country.
But again, it's
without even...
Why are we equating the entire nation for the dumb that the government does? The government and the people are completely opposite.
Yes.
The American people and the United States government are not aligned. You have people in government that have their own agendas, and you have everybody else that have their own regular life.
Right.
We've said it before. You want to go to war? Great. Y'all can go fight each other. Leave the people out of it. If the people have nothing to do with it, why is it? It's like the whole situation that happened recently in our country. Our president was assassinated, and there's like 26 people, and a big portion of them were like Colombian.
Yeah.
You don't see us going to fight Colombia because that is essentially that, bro. That is perfectly aligned with what we're talking about. Our president was just assassinated. They went after the people that did this. We didn't go to war with Colombia.
No.
We didn't go to war with the United States. If we had the nukes, would we just bomb the United States or just bomb Colombia? Makes no sense. If I was to go in Kentucky right now and go, yo, did you hear about what happened in Haiti? They'd be like, what? Because they have nothing to do with it. But somehow they will have been brought into a war for something that individuals did. 26 for the 300 million plus.
Yeah. Some crazy thing.
Jesus.
Declared war on the home country of the man who shot him, which caused Germany to declare war on Russia, followed by France and Belgium.
And a lot of times, like, which causes Germany to war on Russia, because a lot of times it's your allies.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden
you have to go.
You have to because you already signed that you would help protect them if something was so dumb.
Belgium, causing the UK to declare war on Germany, starting World War I. Had Franz not been assassinated, World War I would never have happened that way. It may not have been prevented, but it certainly would have started differently, potentially changing its outcome. All because a car took a wrong turn and stalled in the middle of the road. Whilst on the subject of world wars, you may have heard before that one pull of the trigger could have prevented World War II and the death of over 60 million people. Henry Tandy, a British soldier, allegedly bumped into Adolf Hitler in a French village in 1918 when a wounded Hitler walked into his line of fire, but Henry decided against shooting him before a young Adolf nodded at him and walked away. Had he shot him, Adolf would not have been the driving force behind World War II, and it's anyone's guess what would have happened. World War II would have surely been different, and it may or may not have started, which may have been for better or for worse, because that would have had a knock-on effect on your ancestors who may never have met because of the fact World War II never took place, or had a different outcome, thus resulting in you never being born. But think about this, if Henry had pulled the trigger, although a war may have started, 60 million people may not have died. So just think, out of those 60 million who died, they could have gone on to have children, some of which could have been the next Einsteins or world-changing visionaries. All because one man decided against pulling the trigger.
Okay. But again, so that whole idea could also is to assume that this version of you would only have been possible because mom and dad met. That is to assume that a combination of me isn't somewhere else in the world.
Well, what are you talking about? Like somebody just like you?
So I still assume the Alex that you see today couldn't have been born Asian, white.
All the other races.
All the other races that we have. That is an assumption that this combination of me could only have been possible right now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like all of the different descendants that kind of came about, right? Mm-hmm. That is an assumption that the only way that I'm here and you're here is solely the only way we could have been possibly born is because mom and dad decided to become to get together and make us.
Yeah.
Right? That is the assumption that we're going off of. Mm-hmm. That means if they had never met, then you would have never existed.
But what if this version of us would have?
This version of us, exactly. What if there's a version of us that does it that would have existed, just completely different groups, different? You wouldn't. You just be operating in this world, but completely opposite.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be. We wouldn't be siblings. We could be siblings, but we could have been white.
Yeah.
We could have been Asian. We could have been completely like all these different things. So many combinations. Jeez. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was trying to process right there. I was like, it could be anything.
Jeez. But it goes back to about Hitler. It goes back to there has to have been something in his life that triggered him to go down the route that he went.
Oh, I'm sure. But that goes with everybody. It's to understand the mental, power. Yeah. They always say what absolute power corrupts. And it's you can't understand it because it's hard to understand if you've never had that. You had a whole world at your fingertips, pretty much. Jeez. What you say goes.
Yeah.
Like, you had more power than a king. So, you know what I'm saying?
It's because of the fact World War II never took place, or had a different outcome, thus resulting in you never being born. But think about this, if Henry had pulled the trigger, although a war may have started, 60 million people may not have died. So just think, out of those 60 million who died, they could have gone on to have children, some of which could have been the next Einsteins or world-changing visionaries. All because one man decided against pulling the trigger.
What?
This one is interesting and is quite popular, because if JFK had not been assassinated, who knows what the outcome that would have had on the United States. Well, what if it could be traced back to when he was around 20 years old, that if he had chose to do something different on one certain day, he would not have been killed all those years later. You see, in 1940, 23 years before he was assassinated, he had an accident whilst playing sports, which is thought to be the driving force behind his never-ending struggle with back pain. If not for the back pain, he would not have worn a back brace. If he had not been wearing a back brace on the day he was assassinated, he would have slumped or fallen after the first non-fatal shot hit him. But instead, he stayed upright.
Oh, because he got shot.
Yeah.
And naturally, when you get he will have fallen forward, because the back brace is raw. It's like a, you know,
It keeps you.
You know how I used to wear a shoulder brace, like wrapped around my stomach and kept my upper body like that. So when he got shot, himself, he couldn't go because his core was locked.
Yeah.
So he had to stay there for a second shot.
Jeez.
Force behind his never-ending struggle with back pain. If not for the back pain, he would not have worn a back brace. If he had not been wearing a back brace on the day he was assassinated, he would have slumped or fallen after the first non-fatal shot hit him. But instead, he stayed upright because of his back brace, allowing his body to be positioned perfectly for a second shot. Many experts have all agreed, if not for the back brace that was the result of years of lower back pain fueled from this sporting accident many years previously, JFK would have been able to duck out the way after the first shot, and the second fatal shot wouldn't have been feasible.
Bro, that's so crazy.
Take the handful of people who were late for work on the morning of 9/11, or the fact that Seth MacFarlane missed his flight because he was drunk the night before, preventing him being killed that day, which would have been the end of Family Guy, and the millions of hours spent by people watching that show would have been spent doing something else, which would have resulted in a different outcome for those people. Take Elise O'Kane, a United Airlines flight attendant who typed her flight schedule incorrect into the airline's computer system before 9/11, which in turn led to her not being on her original scheduled flight 175.
What?
Take the fact the US Space Shuttle's two side thruster rockets had to be made a smaller size due to the fact they passed through many tunnels during transport. Tunnels which were made 2,000 years ago and were built at the time to just fit the width of two horses carrying a chariot. As someone put it, one of the most complicated and groundbreaking pieces of machinery in history had to be designed to fit around a decision made 2,000 years ago. Take this and the hundreds of personal scenarios you can think of relating to events that happened in your life, and you wonder how things could have been different, for better or for worse, if one little piece was taken away. If my parents had never met, I would never have been born. If I was never born, the 3,200 plus years that has been spent watching my videos by millions of people, which has literally changed the outcome of the world in some way or another, would never have happened. Sure, everyone would have done other things in that time, or watched other videos, but because it would have been different, maybe less or more time spent watching, different conversations with people or different thoughts depending on which video you've watched, a different outcome would result. Now, this is a question I do often ask myself. I wonder if by someone sitting and watching one of my videos, that prevented them from maybe going outside and getting into trouble. Or that maybe those 5 minutes spent watching one of my videos, or anyone else's video, meant they had something in common with a person that led to them dating and potentially starting a family down the line. Now, I am not the cause of that, or taking any credit for a scenario like that, but we are all here to serve a purpose one way or another, and we all seem to shape each other's lives a lot more than we think. And when you learn more about this, you will soon come to realise, as I explained, why the title of this video is not clickbait. The minutes you have spent watching this video has changed the outcome of your life, and in turn the lives of millions of others, because your actions today will be different. Some may be instant tiny things that happen today or this week, but in time what happens today will have a snowball effect on the direction of your life, which in turn can and will have a huge effect on everyone's life around you. But what does all this mean? Well, your life is precious and is the result of billions of events that have led to your existence and the billions more that will become your future. So go after that project you've always wanted to. Ask that person out, because 10 years down the line you may have started a family with them. And never underestimate the tiny actions you make, because they can have an enormous outcome on not only your life, but potentially the lives of so many people for years to come. So if you ever thought your life doesn't matter, believe me, it really does.
Is that it?
Yeah. Okay, guys, that was the butterfly effect. This video will change your life documentary. Any thoughts?
Bro, this thing did now I'm just so scared to go anywhere. Cause you don't know. You could be dead.
I think it's for me, it's nothing really changes. Cause I think it's if you were to alter your day after you see this video, what if you're altering it for the worse?
What do you mean? Cause I mean you could, okay. It's the same thing as if you look at the Final Destination.
Yes.
You remember how in that movie they were trying so hard to avoid the death, but it always came back to the death.
Yes.
Because you were destined to die at that time.
Exactly. That's
So-
but again, it's if you don't believe in that or Final Destinations, then or if life doesn't have any final destinations, then you're good. So you think you're avoiding it, but there's nothing you're avoiding. It's just you're just operating in life as if you're oh, I'm avoiding the death or I'm avoiding this. But it's if there is a destination of whatever it is that you're gonna do, I guess
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think it changed anything for me because I'm just yo. I think it's we a lot of the things that we do is done on the subconscious, versus you're not aware of them, right?
Right.
It's the exact same reason why when you wake up in the morning you have 100,000 ideas, but a lot of times your first one it goes, I gotta brush my teeth, because that's the only one that you really focus on. It's a routine you've already developed over the years. So for you, it's I gotta shower, I gotta make sure I get some food, I got to walk Milo out. So the main ones in your focus right now.
Right.
And then everything else that you do stems from the things that you're immediately in your mind, not anything else. Because your mind's always on something, on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right? But the only thing that it's the thing that is the pumping the most in your mind is the one thing you end up, I gotta do that.
Things that you do daily.
Exactly. The things that you do daily that allows your day to go smoothly tend to be the things that you tackle first when you first wake up in the morning. Shower, eat, walk the dog, brush my teeth, do my hair, walk out, boom. I gotta do this. What's on my list now? Boom. You have a specific thing you're doing, but again, it's it seems tiny, but it allows you to get to your day.
Right.
Okay, we gotta record. Let's make sure we get boom, 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 boom. Then we can record. There's a lot we gotta do before we start recording content. It just seems we're walking them by. But to even get to that part, there's a lot that we had to do. It was just neck and neck, just boom, okay. And then it's all right, we're here. What's going on, guys? It just goes into it.
Yeah.
So I think it's but again, it's us doing what we're doing changes somebody's life, because we get comments all the time that people hit us up. Yo, me and my kids watch you guys' videos every morning that we wake up as a family. I'm oh wow, okay, that's cool. Hey, I'm over in Brazil. Hey, I'm over in Philippines. Hey, I'm over in we're impacting people's lives that we don't even see. When we do a live stream parties.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, it's 3:00 in the morning over here. Yo, it's 2:00 over in. Oh, we're in Houston. Yo. So you're getting a chance to, because it goes into the subconscious. When they see us, no matter what you do, you might hate our videos, but it's gonna be forever in your mind. It will never leave you. So subconsciously, whatever we say and do, it might have an effect in that person's life. Forever and ever. I'm sorry, little one. Okay. All right, guys. Listen, if you're not part of the AMICY gang, click on that subscribe button below. Join us and be part of the squad. Now, all times, don't cheat yourself.
Love thyself.
And keep it AMICY. Peace.